This September, bad blood will be settled.
This is more than personal.
The long-awaited trilogy.
There's real bad blood here.
Canelo versus Triple G. September 17th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Visit DAZN.com.
This is Harry Judd for Boxing Social in association with BetFred. We're here at the weigh-in for Shields Marshall. Unfortunately, we haven't had confirmation due to the death of Her Majesty the Queen. We have had to postpone the event with Johnny Nelson. Your initial reaction, mate?
I feel for everybody involved. Remember, the Queen's someone's mother, family of grieving. She was the mother of a country, so I understand every knock-on effect this has had. For the fighters, thinking from a fighter's point of view, the fighters today, they were in a dilemma because they've trained 6, 8, 10 weeks for a big event, and fighting's not like football, it's not like anything else. Individuals are peaking their bodies to a certain time to get ready for a certain event. It's not something you can delay for a week or two and think you're going to perform to the best of your ability. This is something that worry in a lot of fighters' heads, but it's something, they all understood, they all completely got it, even if they weren't happy with the fight being called off. So onwards and upwards, it moves on to October the 15th, and I just feel sorry for everybody involved, but that's life. It's just how it is. The whole country has to is in mourning. Most sporting events have just shut off to show respect to Her Majesty, so I can totally understand that.
With the Premier League making a stance early on today, it seemed that the boxing had no other choice but to be postponed. So, do you agree, firstly, with it being postponed, Johnny?
I do. Yeah. I do agree. I get it. I totally get it. And really, at the end of the day, it's about respect. It's about making the right decisions. And this is something that the whole country actually are registering. You've got to be living under rocks and not what's going on, and how much this is a part of the UK's history. So I think it's the right decision to be made by a boxer. And I don't know if it was to follow the Premier League. They made their decision. Benchelon made his decision. Sky made their decision. And these were decisions. They sat in a room. They all sat together to make that decision. So, and it was in unison. So they all agreed. It wasn't like one was batting away. It was a case of how do we handle this? How do we schedule this? How can we get this done? And it was just making the right decisions.
As a former fighter yourself, just go through how the boxers will be feeling at this moment in time.
Fighters can be very selfish, which I understand. You've got to be in such a dangerous sport, and especially if you've got to make weight as well. And so that would have been the hardest bit, especially today. Today was the day they make weight. Today's the day where they wake up. They've got to watch how much fluid intake they've taken. They've got to think about the last 24 hours, what they've done to dehydrate to get to this point of the weighing in. I only made the weight 3 times a year when I boxed 3 times a year for about 15 minutes. So the fighters would have been in that situation. So then there's the danger aspect. Say, for instance, the fight did go on, and this fight had been hanging on, thinking, can I rehydrate? Can I, the right decisions being made all around. I get the frustration. I get the heartache, especially if you worked so hard for this. But everybody's had to make the same sacrifice. So everybody's in the same boat.
Will this, obviously the event being rescheduled for October the 15th, will this play a factor in that, do you reckon, in terms of where they've trained, etc.?
You know what, it could do, as in results today might change on the 15th, because that extra time now where fighters have pushed themselves, been in a hard camp, they've got to go back in camp. At what point do you touch yourself to do a bit of hard sparring again? Because say it's 5 weeks, so this week you've got to kind of tick over. You're not going to lose your fitness. The week after that, then you've got to pick your fitness up to push yourself again. The week after that, you've got to get yourself to a peak to drop down for 2 weeks after that. So, and your body's tired. Your body's ready. It's ready to fight. You're like a coiled spring. So there's a lot of factors you've got to take into play here, which is going to be hard for any fighter to get their head around. But they're all in the same boat. So it's not like one person's going to get an advantage over the other. So again, it's still England Stevens.
Just talked about the conversation with Sky. How was it? The meeting you had with Sky. What what were you chatting about in terms of the discussion you had this morning?
Logistics, the morality of it all, the knock-on effect financially for a lot of people that have flown in from all over the world. The possibility of getting everybody to sit around the table at the same time to do the same event. It doesn't happen very often where you've got so many people working together. So everybody's got to be on the same page. Now the Queen is important to us here in the UK, and it's very important to UK's history. But is it as important to somebody coming from Puerto Rico or New York or Germany? So again, we understand what's important in the history of the UK. So now it's people just getting on the same page, and that was the hard bit. But in reality, people sat down, they were on the same page, they got it. I said, yeah, we're there, we're with that.
It was a historic event meant to be started. Is there any danger that this fight won't happen in the rescheduled date?
I hope not. I can't see into a crystal ball. Isn't it ironic? This weekend it would have been such an iconic event where it was an all-girl card. And I tell you now, it's the next fight, the next world champion, some wicked fights on the bill. And I was quite looking forward to this weekend. But it will happen again. And let's just be patient, sit back, give respect where it's due, and then rock on again.
This September, Bad Blood will be settled.
This is more than personal.
The long-awaited trilogy.
There's real bad blood here.
Canelo versus Triple G. September 17th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Visit DAZN.com.